Okay, so have you ever felt the project squeeze? It seems like we're always behind. And sometimes that's because the original targets were too ambitious, the original schedule was impossible. But it's really embarrassing when it seems like you had enough time to plan, you took the time to get credible estimates from smart people, and we still end up in a crunch. Why is this? Well, that's what I want to talk about today. I want to share some secrets of estimating, some scary truths about schedules, and suggest some processes you can use and tools you can use that might help. You're still going to find you're in crunch time from time to time, maybe anticipate it, maybe get there a little less often. So let's dive in. If you've ever taken a project management class, then you know that building schedules is really easy. All you have to do is first get with some smart people, identify all the work that you got to do, and then you develop estimates for those tasks. And then we talk about what's the sequence those things need to happen. And then you smash them into a project management tool, commit arithmetic, and it develops a schedule for you. And if you haven't forgotten any tasks and your estimates are perfect and nothing goes sideways, that schedule should be a reasonable indicator of when things are going to happen. I have some news for you. Your estimates aren't perfect. There's always going to be a little variance. Some tasks take a little longer than others, and some tasks maybe finish a little sooner. I mean, it's not always bad news, right? And early in my career, my assumption was that if my estimates were good, then, sometimes things take a little longer, sometimes they'd finish a little sooner, but eventually it would all average out. And I have come to learn that that is not the case. And one of the reasons is averages don't work the way that people think they do. Have you heard the story of the three mathematicians that go duck hunting? They flush a duck, and the first thing that happens is the first mathematician takes a shot at the duck, and he misses. He's about a foot to the left. The second mathematician takes his gun and he shoots, and he's a foot to the right. He missed. And the third mathematician jumps up and says, on average, we got him. Well, according to math, yeah, on average, you got him, but actually the duck is going to fly away and you don't get to eat duck for dinner. And so it turns out it doesn't always come out in the end. And there's some interesting reasons for that flow from estimation and mathematics. But let's first talk about estimates in general. Let's define our terms. What's an estimate? Well, it's a rough calculation of the quantity or size of something, right? It could be, how much does this weigh? How long is this going to take? How much is this going to cost? From a project perspective, it's a prediction about the future that we hope is based on the past, our assumptions about today, our assumptions about the future. Ideally, it is a data-based forecast. It's not something that we pull out of our shorts. I was at a PMI meeting about 15 years ago, and an amazing thing happened. I was actually president of the chapter, and I came in. I didn't know anything about the meeting. I came and I sat at the table, and I had rushed in, and the local chapter allowed people to buy 5-minute commercials. They could do a 5-minute commercial and present it at the dinner meeting. They could present it to the folks in the meeting. And so I came in late. I rushed over to my seat and sat down just as this guy was starting his pitch. And the guy's pitch was pretty much verbatim, something along these lines. He said, there are estimation tools out there, and they're really hard to use because they want a lot of information about your project. He said, our product is different. You don't have to know too much about your project. Just enter a few simple variables into our tool, and we'll tell you how much is it going to cost and how long is it going to take. And I started laughing. I started laughing really loud. I assumed that this was a skit. I didn't think anybody could really believe that without knowing anything about my project, they could enter just a few factors into some computer tool and compute and calculate the stuff that as an IT professional, I've been struggling to estimate for 40 years. And everybody looked at me. Apparently, the guy was serious. It wasn't a skit, and I was really, really embarrassed. But in my world, an estimate should be a calculation. It should be I hate to use the word guess, but it should be the best guess, the best approximation that someone can offer based on the data that's available to them. Okay, so it shouldn't be magic 8-ball stuff. So let's talk about some of the misconceptions people have about estimates. Here's 3 words that don't mean the same thing, but we can talk about all of them in terms of time. Okay, we're talking about project and time. We can say, hey, here's the target. The customer would like this new report by Friday. That's a target. That's not an estimate. That's when do they want it, right? That's different from a commitment. I make commitments, right? I'll tell somebody maybe I can guarantee I can get something done by December 1st. That's a commitment. As a small business owner, when I make a commitment, I bet my house every time. And the third word that I want to introduce you to is estimate, which is a forecast. It's the best guess based on what we know today. That's a real important distinction. Now, when we make a forecast, sometimes they're going to be wrong. You know, one of the people that's in all of our lives indirectly or kind of in the periphery in all our lives is the weatherman. The weatherman doesn't stress when he makes a forecast, right? Think about that. I live in the Sacramento Valley in California, and the weather here is pretty stable. It's pretty stable. I know if you live in Georgia or you live in Texas or you live maybe in Florida, there's a lot, the Gulf waters and the jet stream. There's stuff that makes your weather much more erratic. But even here, yeah, our weatherman's pretty good. His 3-day forecast is usually pretty good. He'll give us a 7-day, but as you get towards day 7, he said it was going to rain, and we're having a drought right now. So he'll say it's going to rain in 7 days. And as we get closer, he'll say, well, it might rain in 6 days. And as we get closer, he says, there's a slight possibility of rain 5 days out. Do you think he stresses over those forecasts? He's doing the best he can with the information available. He's happy when he's close. He's got literally hundreds of millions of dollars of satellite data and computer modeling so that he can try to do a good job of estimating the weather 3 days out and a reasonable job 7 days out. And they're always trying to get a little better, but they don't stress. Meanwhile, in the IT world, we stress over our forecasts. Well, there's some challenges about estimation. Let's talk about those. Why are estimates challenging? Well, first, the future is uncertain. We know what we had for breakfast today. We can predict what we're going to have for breakfast tomorrow. That makes no allowances for your significant other taking you to breakfast.
Hi there. Hope you enjoyed that last clip. My name is Michael Maludis, and if you'd like to watch the full 60 minutes of that last webcast, while also gaining complete unlimited access to our entire library of IT learning, simply visit our subscribe page at greatpro.org/subscribe. Unlimited annual access is $199 per year, but if you use the coupon code LEARN2EARN, you can drop that membership fee to just $149. That's less than $13 per month for unlimited access to over 1,000 hours of on-demand career development, covering the entire spectrum of IT management best practices, including business analysis and requirements, software development, quality and testing, risk management, process improvement, project management, and even digital transformation. But your membership doesn't just give you unlimited access to our vast learning library. You also get free access to our mobile app, as well as direct access to our network of over 300 of the world's leading IT consultants, all of whom are dedicated to putting practical knowledge at your fingertips so that you can learn more and earn more. I hope you will join me in becoming a member of the Great IT Professional and advancing your career with us. And if you're on YouTube, don't forget to hit that subscribe button above so that you get notified whenever we publish new free webcasts each week of the year. Thank you for your time and best wishes for your continued success.